Waziomo atiareu ukonota madero dine oguralia ndoya ike mara kugatia.
Jana tukikam hii place kucheki like ka kila kitu ta workout end up nilimit ni Edith Kimani yeah, so after commit Edith Kimani nikamwa kuuliza say like their first like either ni awkward moment with a celebrity ama just the first celebrity experience kumbuka. So niko na pati yase story. Hii story ingekuwa better na Rapture jo poleni John nimesahau Rapture kaisha kabla tubonge juu story. But back in the days tukiwa Geto Radio kuna time tulikuwa tuna do show in the morning. Alafu KTN walikuwa gana hii feature walikuwa nayo ya kuenda around radio stations. Unaikumbuka? Kwa watu wanaikumbuka. So kulikuwa na Janet Mbogwa alikuwa on air. So hiyo time tuko na Dwigi Rauka na Rapture, si ndio? So tuko hapo tumebonga alafu tuko live on air on KTN. Alafu ilikuwa like so kaanza tu zile conversations like Janet. Kaanza zile conversations like so Africa tell us more about whatever. Alafu in the process nikamuuliza Africa kwani unanijua? Nikamuuliza tu hizo came up I know you. So mimi na ujinga nika assume ananijua. Fast forward a few years later nimeenda kucheki Rapture Royal Media. So nikiwa hapo nishaingia ni place niko na work. Nishaingia hivi alafu nikampata amesimama hapo nje. Si hiyo ilikuwa time ya KTN sasa. Sasa ameenda Royal Media. Tumepatana hapo nje. Nikienda kusema hi Janet. Aliniangalia zile za
what the fuck is this nigga?
Who the fuck are you? Unacheki? Yeah. So sijai how you mpaka nikajua like udem ni actress jo. Cause like the two whatever hazikuwa na nini. So nilikuwa na plan kuuliza cause Rapture alikuwa ananiambia like he had a similar experience jina nani but nimesahau kumuuliza
oh shit.
She have experience ka hiyo ile like ini awkward cause now you look like an asshole cause lazima do the whole another walk of shame walking away. So it's a different walk of shame but it's a walk of shame. Najua ulikuwa umeenda kwa umesmile umehariwa na uwezi smile na mavi kwa sura yako inabidi.
Yangu I think ilikuwa worse but haikuwa hiyo type. Yangu ilikuwa mbaya. Sijaiongelea je hii story. Fuck you niggas. Anyway. So
celeb plan.
Okay, let me tell the story so that you understand where I'm coming from. Kulikuwa kuna function carnival. And then so you know the way kaniki kukiona kitu yote kuna there's like a VIP area vitu kama hizo. So imekuwa hiyo tape. So watu hawezi pita hapo but kulikuwa kuna celeb alikuwa huko hivyo ananijua. So kuniona I was like Zach because it was a DJ event actually. And I'm a DJ so I was on the other side. So niko na plan kukuja hivi vile ameniita. So ni mbele ya umati kila mtu yuko hapo. Hii ndio time tulikuwa tunapenda kuvaa Timberland boots. I had just gotten my freshly like new ones but they're slightly bigger than my size. Heavy as fuck.
Cause ulikuwa ukipatiwa unachukua.
Unachukua ujali. So vile aliniita I was so excited to like go nikasahau juu ya hiyo rope. So I tripped on the rope and fell the fuck out. In front of umati. So carnival. I was so fucking embarrassed. The worst thing ni kuna msea kuna hiyo footage. Niko sure DJ John kuna hiyo footage because it was like a homeboys event. I fell the fuck out.
I love how easy limp. Unajua easy limp because lazima ukiambia say I'm okay hawezi sema I'm okay alafu amkekona.
Niko sure kuna wase walikuwa huko nyuma zile za kucheka kijificha. So that was embarrassing. Hiyo ilikuwa worse than yours. You walked away.
But ni haria jo. Nishinda like si lazima ni haria hivi jo. Enda tu some news. Lakini hiyo sijaisahau. Ian celeb
maybe celebs wenye wannabes because nikiwa ghetto most of what we used to do was to cover the streets day in day out so tulikuwa tumetumwa kucover game ya Gor. I've never been to Nyayo Stadium. That was my first time. And sijui kama ni budget. We didn't have like real
tags.
Real tags. So ile nje tungejitetea like si ni reporters ni kale ka Zoom recorder. Hatuna tickets of course. Tumeenda pale kwa line. Kina Arocho wakaingia. Of course they don't need to be mentioned. The jump was booming. Next was us. Ubishi yangu chief. So we come to like get a radio. Because your time haiko inajulikana. Ile ugali yote I think ashaikula the whole of his life. Alinisukuma jo. Recorder. As in I could feel like I could have gone for a scan your chest. Journalist get radio makanye. What does makanye mean?
Wapi? Makanye.
Kwa chini jo. Second one. Actually mob. Second one. Gonna cover Coca-Cola tournament. So the whole of that week from where those guys walikuwa nalala walikuwa nini multimedia university so you were there with them na nini mkamfanya nini drop hapa your time tulikuwa tuna hype Goteana. Actually most of the people don't know like Goteana was the idea. Goteana. So you told us like kuna issue itakao after it will be one of the biggest shows. It will be just niggas wakigoteana. And the rest is history. So tumechukua clips za watu from everyone. Back to now the tournament ikaanza. Tulikuwa na awase wa Telem tulikuwa in charge of media publicity section or something. So tulikuwa na hiyo raya tukakuwa mabeshte throughout the whole week. Sasa on the day siku ya final it was on a Saturday. Things zika change.
Umseme kwa mabeste naye wala long.
As in stuff zili change to like final kuna guest wameitwa nini DNG alikuwa
MC.
Super MC. Party people. Mimi nimezoea kuvuka line nilikuwa najua masoja nikawagotea nini nikaishia VIP. Nikakaa hapo chini. Wasio kaanza kuingia. Bouncer akanispot. Akama kuniuliza, "Wapi tag yako?" Mimi sina tag. So imagine wasio wananicheki. Na nilikuwa nishasaviwa dishi.
As a VIP.
Mimi na plate yangu. Nishikwa hivi. Big drag to ile place ulikuwa. Hata you don't know how tulikalishana na wewe. Julie ambot, mwafu aje kuja ukanisa VIP.
Nilikuwa kwa event?
Ulikuwa.
Oh shit.
Ulikuwa.
Poleni jo, mimi sikumbukagi kitu yote.
Alinitoka.
Lazi sikumbukagi alafu ni ile
as in sijaingia for normal section in such a big way. Mtu apata. Kuachilia plate.
At least you ate on the other side. Hiyo tasikumbukagi jo.
Leo dema naitwa Evelyn Water. We were covering athletics za Africa and Kenya was hosting. We are there with our bullshit tags again. Tulikuwa tunapeana unaregisteriwa unapewa hiyo accreditation ya press card. Nimepeana tag. I think your tag ilikuwa imeundiwa hapa River. Nikampatia na litupa.
Kapitia.
Alafu najua hii ni interesting kwa wale wasi ajui juu ya gateway ikianza. Because it was such a small radio station. Like ilikuwa unaenda una introduce na watu I work for Ghetto Radio. Nakuuliza nacheki kwa sababu nakumbuka experience nyingine pia nilipitiaga ya kipumbavu. Ilikuwaga station imeanza alafu Kenya kulikuwa na njaa. So njaa ijaanza majuzi, kwa watu wanafikiri njaa imeanza majuzi. So kulikuwa na ni one for Kenya ama Kenya for one
24 hours for Kenya.
24 hours for Kenya. So sijaisahau hii experience moja because I met the number one media lady industry whatever. So the first meeting ile tuli have because mwaga lazima ni collect vitu. So nilikuwa nimecollect matisho za Ghetto Radio kadhaa. So I think the first meeting ilienda na tisho ya green. Alafu the second time tukamit kuna tisho ya red najua. Hapo the time nilienda the third meeting like Mwafrika, we know you work for Ghetto Radio. So si unajua nabonga jua nani?
She was the champion for that event I think.
Yeah, alikuwa the champion for your shit. So nilikuwa najua karibu nimwambia like hey, unawakia Kiss is big bana, hii yetu ni ndogo. Kwa hiyo shit tuko tunapitia ile watu wako wanajua. Like ukienda pale lazima ujustify. Alafu the second thing one expect maybe station iko Madhare, unaambia iko Madhare. One expect yani kulikuwa na ile upumbavu lazima upitie. Ndio. Yeah, so tuligo through hizo vitu za nini, but
we learned everything we know from that experience.
Through hapo ilikuwa experience moja kali sana. But kuna watu niko sure hakuwa najua kama wakaijua ikiwa big. Wakafikiri from day one na kukua na mbro. Kuna time kulikuwa na mbro huko. Ilikuwa gani shida je? So I think sasa tunaweza open up nini So tumeambiwa by saa 2 kutakuwa na movie fulani na happen up from 8:30. So saa 2
tumalize mapema, not mapema but like on time. Ndio waweze kufanya hiyo setup yao.
Alafu sasa kwa watu wanashindwa unajua hii live tuko tunajua like what are we supposed to do, so tukadecide tu wacha tufanye podcast ya kawaida. Watu wakitusikiza wanaige vile like the train of thought huenda, so inakuwa random hivyo. Inakuwa like we have a topic and then we just go, vitu za kipumbavu zina come up tukiendelea vitu serious na vitu kama hizo.
Alafu sasa from experiences zangu za ku watch podcast mingi me notice zile podcast za majuu wakidu live wanapenda kucheza games na zile games mingi uchezwa hapo waga zina involve couples. Nimevunja kitu.
Unafanya couples wanaanza kuseparate
sasa. Okay, sawa, hiyo tutaiscrap. Tuachane nayo. Sasa Q&A maybe.
Hatujui ni either hiyo ama kila mtu aende place naitwa Kajito ambaye sasa tujui. Unajua lakini tumeshukuru sana. Hatukusema mtu yote aende before but saizi unajua ni after, so saizi lakini lazima tupembeleze kila mtu for the next show. So pia tuwezi sema hivyo. So sijui kuna mtu ana like any questions ama any suggestion mtu hata kuja kujam na sisi. I think nani amehepa.
Sijui kama itajimai kama iko fiti.
Kama naweza come because tunahitaji audio pia for nini.
Sawa wazi. So I've been wanting to ask you this actually kwa live, kuna live nishai join but nikasahau kukuuliza. So I guess ni 2 questions but hii moja ina derive from the other one. So the first one ni you have a way ya ku casually drop vitu, otherwise it tunaweza fikiria zikiwa big deal but those drop tu hivyo casually. Like how do you do that? Like juzi ukisema story ya madhako kuuza ngoi, that was like a bombshell. But we may drop, you know, casually hivyo kwa conversation. And then the second one the more na kusikiza the more na notice uko na deeper roots kwa I don't know kwa reggae dancehall ni nini. Because there was a time nilikuwa nasikiza podcast uli mention Kilimanjaro, Papajaro. I don't expect like a regular person and wakina nani wakina you know King Jamis nani so unaweza expound hapo kiasi kwa story ya you know kwa dance. I'm a big fan by the way side. So I guess that's my 2 questions. Thanks man.
Poa. So kitu fani ni hiyo answer inakam like image answer peke yake. wacha nianze na the second question ndio niende kwa the first.
Okay.
Reggae music nili grow up Eastland, si ndio? So vile nishaambiaga say at some point in Eastlands ilikuwa strictly lazima upende reggae. Cause vile mu enjoy tu watu like loving hip hop was like being part of LGBTQ. Unajua ilikuwa like you are gay, unachukuliwa ilikuwa ni kitu haungesema. Unajua wasa siku hizo unaona everyone in the ghetto is a rapper. At some point you could not come out and say you love rap. So the only thing ilifanyaga tukakam kupenda rap ni of course ma threes. But sasa around your time mabro wangu wawili like wale mabro nafuata they are twins. Walikuwa nasikiza reggae mob sana. So that's how I ended up learning about Shashamane, Kilimanjaro, chikizo vitu zote. Now from those two because they loved music so much that they used to like pesa yao yote ya kwenda nini like lunch walikuwa na save up ndio weekendi kulikuwa na place fulani Isili ile msel kwa na convert LP to tape. So msana uza vitu origi but ukienda kutaka bootleg anaweza kubootlegia. So that's how much reggae ilikuwa. How can I talk about this shit kama sijui auntie yangu fulani alikuwa nakunjwa
mko yako alikuwa na jack off.
Hizo kuna homa kuzo alikuwa na jack off, kuna historia vile umesema ni jua now hip hop unateki like try to imagine umegrow up kisikiza this form of music that's about we that's reggae. Then you come to this other form of music that's about I. So that's how I ended up like I've heard rappers talk about everything like the darkest secrets msana kupatia. I think hata ilikuwa my name is Slim Shady obonga jile so you have jacked off so much unacheki. So from your experience here people being able to because that's what attracted me to the music. Mimi sikupendaga rap juu ya sikupenda rap. Wajua kuna watu walipenda rap juu ya the clothes, kuna watu walipenda rap juu ya flows. Mimi nilipendaga juu ya the stories. Like I'd listen to someone give a story about their life and they talk about everything. So nilikuwa najuaga like if now this podcast thing comes naona people just talk about everything. And then najuaga like wa Kenya tuko kwa ile level ya people like portraying this somehow perfect image. Tunakuaga hivyo to some degree. So to make us also stand out like this podcast shit starts and this hii ni opportunity ya kuatia say stories le hamtaisikia place yote. So that's how like mubonga jua kitu yote like
so I guess in a way ni part unaweza sema ni your artistic side ndio inakuwa na
yeah. But naweza sema the rap side as in kasi ningekuwa nasikiza rap ninge maintain kusikiza reggae full time kwa sababu musikiza reggae of course singeweza kudui the same way but
angekuwa tu hapa hivi siafaration siafaration
so ningekuwa na hiyo swali lingine ama kila mtu tuende kajitombe sio tena but vile kwa nataka kusema ni tumeshukuru nyinyi kutokea na ilikuwa the first contract nayo so at least nimecheki tumepiga stories 7 I think notice stories 7 ziwezi maliza 3 hours nilikuwa nafikiri zitaweza kumaliza haziweza kumaliza but kuna hiyo nini but naweza pia kitu kingine naweza sema like it's like very also humbling like vile hii story iko nini ilianza I think kwa wale watu hawajui kuna 2 versions. Kuna iko nini ile tulitry kuuza for TV kakata unajua hiyo ilikuwa tunafanya na Ian. Alafu sasa kuna this other version ya the podcast ya Zack. Alafu kitu fani ni Zack unge insist shit inge happen because I think ulianza kuniambia ilikuwa 2020 2020 in the heat ama in the midst of corona niambia tunafaa kuanzisha podcast nashindo sasa hii ni nini hicho. So every time kishia kwa Zack alikuwa na watch Joe Biden ndio so naisikiza niko like can we really do this shit najua zile za so nilishinda nikidelay alafu I think ukatry kuniforce to lock tutaanza hivi alafu siku nakumbuka nikiteremka kwa cinema neighbor nikiteremka nilikuwa zile za 50-50 should I still go tuanzishe nini but asante Joe cause I think singe meet kuna watu wengi hapa nimejua through your podcast so Joe Sasa moligo. Utashout?
Yeah, I can speak up. So I'm South African.
Okay.
I wanted to know how often you're going to be able to do like live audience kind of podcast, and if it's possible to sort of like have someone who can translate. It's in Nguni language. I could catch here and there.
Oh, okay.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to sort of like, you know.
Okay.
I was wondering if you can do any of that.
Okay.
Oh, and also in South Africa we do have we also have Ghetto Radio. So it's really a cool thing to hear about.
Oh shit! When did that one start?
I can't remember, but growing up we've always had Ghetto Radio.
Yeah, because one thing I know is we copied your YFM because we also had YFM.
No, Ghetto Radio actually came before YFM.
Oh shit! No.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't think because our Ghetto Radio was. I don't think that one was copied. I think that was just a coincidence. But yeah, YFM we copied. I think the YFM South Africa was Live It, Love It. YFM Nairobi, Live It, Love It. It was just they just copied everything. And
but
then
you think it's copying because we're all African, so you are just taking YFM from South Africa and bringing it
it's still copying because
to Kenya, but making it Kenyan. So how is it copying if Kenyans can understand it in a Kenyan perspective instead of just taking it whole South African and then pasting it?
Do you know how bad the copying was?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Kenyans love my show, but they don't know that South Africa had the exact name. Like YFM had the joint. YFM South Africa had the joint, and we had the joint. The difference is mine ended up being super hip hop. The South African one was not.
Yeah.
You see, but that's why I'm saying like it's a lot of copying. So when it comes to this, I have a certain friend. I think it's both of us with Zach. There's a friend of ours called Apu Sebekedi. Apu Sebekedi. Yeah. So Apu keeps asking me like, when are we going to do something that everyone can understand? So I feel like Iko Nini is such a Sheng product. Understand? Like
Sheng is in slang.
Yes.
Okay.
But now Swahili slang.
Okay.
That it would, to some degree, would not be the same thing. So we have like guests who come and just like speak in English. Like we had some Indian guy.
2 white people.
Yeah, we had 2 white people. So we have such guests. Even like one of the upcoming shows is a comedian called Emmanuel Kisiangani, and he just does English. But now there's this other side that personally I'd like to explore. So on that, I think it's something that I plan to do more on like a personal, like on my personal channel more than, because I want it to be bullshit topics. Like for example, one of the topics would be something that would be interesting to talk to you about. Like the fact that I'd never come to South Africa. Like I fear the South Africa I see. It's like the South Africa I see on TV is the Africa that white people see on TV. Like I see a South Africa where if by accident I end up in Soweto, someone will call me kwere kwere, start blaming me for like the shit they're going through. You see, so this is a conversation I'd want to have like with the South African. And you see that one now we have to use the international language. So it's something I want to have, because Kenya is a strange country where we hate each other.
Straight, huh?
No, strange.
Oh.
We hate each other, but we love foreigners. Like we're like, hey, welcome. Then fuck you. Amongst ourselves, it's fuck you. But with foreigners, I've never had a Kenyan say South Africans need to go home. The Sudanese need to go home. It's not a Kenyan thing. Like we've always been a refugee country to some degree, yes? So now to look at South Africa where it gets really thick, that kwere shit is serious, you know. Yeah.
But remember, the media shows you what they want you to see.
Yeah. So you want to tell me like if I ended up in a ghetto, because if a South African ends up in a Kenyan ghetto, if they are poor, they'll be like, yeah, you're from South Africa.
You're one of us.
If they are rich, you're getting robbed. You see, full stop. No one is killing you.
Yeah.
So if you're rich, you're getting robbed. If you're poor, you just move in and you leave. Oh, that's the South African. But I feel like in South Africa, it would be that way. Poor, rich. If I end up in a ghetto, I'm getting killed. True or false?
False.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Remember, the media shows you what they want you to see. So if you come to South Africa, I'm from the ghetto, so I'm speaking from experience. So your ghetto here is not really ghetto.
Are you sure? We shit.
Is Eastleigh ghetto? I only know Eastleigh.
Eastleigh is not a ghetto. Eastleigh is
affluent.
That's one when you're going to Embakasi. Going to Embakasi.
Mukuru.
No,
Mukuru.
On the other side.
Majengo. Madhare. Like these are the real ghettos would be Majengo, Madhare, Kibera. Mukuru, if you hear that Mukuru, don't even wait for the end. Mukuru kwa Jengo. Mukuru kwa Ruben.
Mkuru whenever.
Yeah. Mukuru whenever. That's ones it's yeah.
Eastleigh is hosting the World Cup.
Yeah. Eastleigh is
Affluent.
yeah. Eastleigh there's a lot of money. Just too many people, but it's too much. Yeah. But it's interesting to learn that South Africa is not as dangerous as I think it is.
It's not.
Because I'm always afraid of that. Like, what if something happened and I found myself in the wrong neighborhood? Because with Kenya, I'm 100% sure I'm just getting robbed. See? Like, you end up in the wrong neighborhood, you're getting robbed. But getting killed, for being a foreigner, we don't do that shit. That's the one thing that I love about this country. It has a lot of bullshit, because the intertribal shit, every 5 years it bubbles up, then goes back. Like right now we are good. Right now it's Kikuyu brother, Luo brother, Kalenjin brother.
Oh, Gucci.
2022, like, oh, fuck these people. Then 2023, we are back to normal. So I love that about this country. So, yeah.
So you'd like to have like I don't know what to call it, but just a mixture of this podcast with a bigger podcast from South Africa. I think that would make
I'd want to have like those conversations that cut across Africa.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a conversation about religion, for example.
Exactly.
You see, like, I think there's a South African, is it called Maponda or something? There's this guy who, very anti-religion, very popular on YouTube. You know him?
Malawi.
He's called
He's from Malawi.
He's from Malawi. Oh. So because I'd want our voices to be amplified. Sorry for, I think there's a certain fan of Iko Nini, she left. She's called D. So D was telling us the way she thinks that if she sat with me for a few hours, she can be able to convince me that Jesus is my personal savior. So I'd want to have such conversations, you know, like about religion, what now for a broader audience. Because I feel like with the sharing audience, we've had it, you know, as many times as possible, like to try to convince. So there are those conversations that I think are African. Even the story about snakes having two clits, it's an African conversation, you know. We want to know about what snake charmers in South Africa are doing. So so there's that. Conversations that we'd want to have for Africa, and then there are these conversations that are very Kenyan. That's why we stick to Shem, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. Uni amo
Come.
kaka amo enda kwa mic acha zangu. Yeah, considering unajua how confidence nachukuaga kuvaa pink hapa Kenya tu.
Yeah, so mimi kaka amo.
Yeah.
You rarely talk about, because kuna day tulikuwa live and there's this guy who was constantly alikuwa anatuma negatives.
Yeah.
Negatives gani mme receive which you don't share on air. Probably sisi wenye tuko hapa mnaweza share na sisi. This is like Zach said, is an intimate space. Negative comments gani is you come.
Tumehava hata moja hii wiki ile ilifanya nikaenda rewatch the interview. So tukibonga na Matata, Freddy wa Matata is the guy with the like whatever eye. Alisema budake amededi. So it's like, hey, my father died, blah blah blah. So I asked him like, how did your father die? And then he ended up like describing the whole thing. I don't know who's watched the episode. Yeah, so he talked about how his father was taken. Now I'm using English because of her. So this guy talked about how his father was taken for a scan when the wounds were still fresh. And then like his throat exploded. Sindio? And like a lot of people saw like his father choking to death. But one of the things he said was that his father knew he was going to die, so he just did the peace sign. So we did this interview, And then someone goes in the comments and says, Mwafrika, I don't like the way you are looking at blah, blah, blah. So I had to go and watch because I was wondering. I had to go and watch, and I was wondering, like, did I smile when this guy was telling me his father died? Maybe I smiled, like I had to literally watch. I was like, I didn't smile because if someone is like, hey, my father exploded, it didn't make sense. So there's always that sort of bullshit that happens. And then now the guy explained what he meant. He was like, this is a humble guy. Why are you asking him how his father died? So I didn't know that if you're humble, you're not supposed to be asked how something died, you see. And I feel like the Iko Nini space, we talk about everything. So someone describing that, to me, was good because I've had the good side of Kenyatta Hospital from like Ian, because his parents used to work there. So there's the good side, and now we had the negative side. So it's just a balance of everything there. So that's the negative that stands out because that happened this week. There's other negatives. Some guy who was advising me on how to talk to Rapture. I think that one, I even said it. Remember? Yes, someone was telling me, like, advising me how you need to be asking Rapture about unemployment in Kenya, what the youth are doing. I'm like, I've known this guy for 15 years. I think I know how to talk to him more than. So such comments are always there. But this one stood out because someone was describing such a horrific experience that for once I actually thought I was smiling. Because for someone to tell you, like, the way you are looking at him, it can remind. I don't know if anyone watched there was this TV interview. It went viral a few years ago. It was in a white country where some guy had gone to a TV station, but he had a funny voice. Remember? And it was like, and then the presenter was losing his shit. So that's like one of the things that I'm always afraid of. Like, I've never even told Zach this, but I'm always afraid of, like, what if someone one day comes to Iko Nini and they start giving this? They're like, oh, that day was raped. You're like, So, and it's because of that. I always remember that because that guy was laughing. I know that shit happens. Like, sometimes, like, I remember even the way we handled when Rapture was first telling us about his divorce. Me and Zach were laughing because sometimes it happens, but he's a comedian, so people will understand. But if that person is not a comedian, then there's going to be the thing of, like, why were you laughing when this person was telling you about the most painful shit they've gone through? So there's that also. Kuna mtu alikuwa na swali hii side, I think. Pole, tunanidio sound ndio.
Okay, mine was more of an observation, and I think I just need to ask because you've worked for radio. Now, as I was coming to town for like a solid 30 minutes, by accident, the radio was playing like Citizen. And so they spent like 15 minutes talking about send 100 shillings, you have a chance of winning $1 million. Then for another solid 100 minutes, they were talking about there's a secret sijui voice, send an SMS. So I'm like, what the hell is happening to radio? Have we resorted to, like, pure gambling, extorting people? Like, for real. So is it something that you've done? What do you think about this thing today compared to, back?
Zach wendo umewaka radio majuzi. Let Zach start and then come to umewaka radio majuzi.
Sijui vile naweza answer hii swali yako cause it looks like it's a collaboration between radio stations and whoever is running that campaign. So basically the idea is for people to talk about that what do you call it? If it's a shortcut SMS, right? Yeah. So the more people send, the more, if it's, I don't want to mention names. Like the phone companies get money out of that, and then the radio station gets advertisement from those companies. So it's a shrewd business, but what do you do?
Okay, I worked on is it QFM? So QFM was notorious for that shit. Cause I even saw someone posted that on TikTok. The way they target mostly the old and vulnerable. You know, they're the ones who are going to feel like they stand a chance. So the funny thing is, it's not even the, what are they called? Like the whatever don't make money from that. Like Safaricom. There are these specific companies. I don't know how the business works, but there's something that they buy from Safaricom, and now them is just pure profit.
Yeah.
So what happens is the first days a lot of people are going to subscribe, then with time less and less people, and that's when the campaign ends. Then they wait for people to forget, and then they do it again. Alafu now you find that the fact that internet has come, it's really messed up like traditional media, because the whole budget that they used to get, now they have to share with other. So now the only way to make money is through these funny adverts, because Coca-Cola is not spending the money it used to spend in like the year 2000. I'd say Coca-Cola is not spending the same amount of money it used to spend maybe even 2015. That's why you find like even stations like Capital FM. Capital FM has never, in quotes, like done like any mass firing. When you see Capital doing mass firing, it's cause literally kamenuka, like it's bad. That's how traditional media, and then you find like it's the same people at the helm, you know, like, so it's going to continue struggling. So expect more of that bullshit. Like send this, send that. So I don't expect that to change. That's one cheeky. Like even Nation closed down QFM, and even Nation FM tried to bring back Nation FM. Now they're getting rid of people. You find like Akina Mark Masai, and so you had Masai and Nani starting a podcast, you know. Masai and Okari. Yeah. Wame come to the dark side. We welcome them. So kuna hiyo like back in the days ilikuwa kama unafanya podcast unaangalia zile za kwa saizi hata angalia like even what's happening with what's his name Obina. Obina is someone who's a very creative guy, sindio? And he's making a lot of money on YouTube because he has like 3 YouTube channels. So that shit he's doing on Kiss, I think it's most probably something he went just a creative person trying pale, like you go for a meeting and like, so do you have ideas? I was like, yeah, we can be doing this once in a while. I was like, okay, we'll be doing it every day. Shit. Now you see every day, because how sustainable is this? Coming up with a different outfit every day, every single day. First of all, people will get bored, because you know the first time I see you in a Wakanda outfit, it's wow. The next day, the next it's going to be like it's not sustainable. So yeah, traditional media right now it's a little bit rough. Yeah. So tuko sawa? Okay. Yeah, lazima ukuje. Natal ni aje? Kenya iko sawa? Kenya ni dusty lakini. Yeah.
So mine was just a suggestion. Unaona venye like Iko Nini, it's but it has so this for Zach. So you could mix we insert your just in my hip hop heads. We insert your
some sets
hizo za hip hop kwa ama whatever kwa sababu it can still be part of the Iko Nini forum and all that stuff.
The trick with that listen. So Iko Nini is monetized, right? So anything we play has to be DMCA compliant. So because of copyrights and things like those. Ndio maana unapata mixes mingi ziko kwa ile side yangu ya DJ Zack. So kaa huko hapo unaweza chungulia hiyo side sahihi. Hii side ingine cause YouTube wana formula kama ile ya Mixcloud whereby sasa hata tunaweza play vitu ziko na copyrights but now you split the revenue with the artist.
Oh, that's good.
But it's something they're working on, so they are not sure it will work because someone has to pay for that license. Achikika Mixcloud, BBC, I think the BBC wamelipia hiyo license.
Yeah.
So for YouTube it's a bit tricky, but yeah, for now we'll be doing things to do with music on my channel. Shameless plug. So you can subscribe.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, you can subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm thinking also, in terms of like now, because you're full-time content creator, maybe an idea you would maybe pitching is another branch of economy that now goes with people.
But you see that.
Stuff without maybe playing music,
Yeah.
music, but because I think that people still have the hip-hop aspect of them that you guys have, the hip-hop knowledge, 20 plus years, it would be something that's an economic idea, hip-hop.
Oh, if it's that hip hop talk, maybe that one can. Yeah. Mimi niko nafikiria cause yeye amesema mix.
Yeah.
Actually, your idea the pay makes sense.
Yeah. I think ilikuwa, was it Moguje? Are you the one who was telling me like that talk we did about hip hop was dope? There's an episode we did like the first days.
It was like that. It was the beginnings of it.
Yeah.
How you love hip hop.
Yeah. So there's an episode of why I love hip hop. Yeah, so there was that, because it will also be interesting to hear, like, because another funny thing about it's me and Zach, of course, we've been listening to hip hop for a very long time. But the one guy who, if you make him listen to a song today, like 5 years from now, he's going to be quoting shit you made him listen to, and you're like, what the fuck do you remember? It's him. Yeah. Like his memory, lyrics, waga. Because I don't remember shit. I think that's why even I struggled as a rapper, because I couldn't even remember my own shit. Because you have to remember your own shit. Like, so I forget so much.
Accompany you to the studio.
Yeah, you see. So there's that side. There's a thing I think I'd even told them about it. Like I wanted us to do it with them, but we never did it. It was
the hip hop.
Yeah, it was to do like songs, even just something about music. I didn't want it to be like a podcast, but I wanted it to be something random, like it would still appear on Iko Nini, but it would be like songs you love that don't make no sense. You know, there's that one song you love too much that
doesn't make
like,
sense.
Why do I love this song? So that was a conversation I was thinking that we should have. So there's some people I've seen. Were they just walking in right now? May guess easy? No? You came in right now? Huh? The lady in the hat. Oh, Poleni, we've finished the show. This is just now Q&A. We've talked about... Oh, Pole. Oh, Kenyan time. Huh? Oh, shit. Like, we started 15 minutes late. We started at 5:15. And, till around 7, I think. Yeah. Paka Rapture was here.
Yeah, I'm sitting on somebody else's chair.
Paul. Yeah? Unachukua tu contract tu itakufikia ukakaa sukari. Uko Mathare tutakufikia tu, hata kahawa ndani. Sisi ni asonga kuna kahawa Mkuru tunakupata. Tutakuget. But ni poa sana kuona vile nasema like Natal, Colorado representing, kuna Moguche, North Carolina, kulikuwa na D, California shaishia. Nani tena ametoka majuu amekuja kutuona tu. Tunashukuru sana. Nyalgunga. Sawa, okay.
Nyalgunga.
So just random as we finish up. Surprise sana about Iko Nini, like what's the biggest surprise in terms of the reception?
Funny enough, to me, like one of the biggest surprises ni wase kufurahia hiyo phrase ya Kajitombe. Like alafu Natal, I have to credit you for that. Like before
nilikuwa Kajitombe.
Vile umsali join live, alafu akaitumia. That's when I was like, fuck, this shit is actually because tukibongana zake ilikuwa gazeti za umsaya aende Kajitombe. Tukaiachia hapo. Unacheki, so now to actually see like mtu yuko mbali na hiyo kitu membamba, ilikuwa like okay, so
ametengeneza t-shirts na Kajitombe.
Si hata kuna Kajitombe hapa yani. Hizo pia ziko.
I can see some natives.
So I'd say ilikuwa surprising. Another thing that ilikuwa surprising ni the Octopizzo effect. Like I think a lot of people hapa wako hapa juu ya Octo bila kujua kwa hapa juu ya Octo. Octo is the one who actually made a lot of people know we exist. So before the Octo interview tulikuwa na 1300 subscribers. So what happens is when you interview someone, normally you'll send them a link. Utakuwa like, hey Buddha, ile interview yetu imetokea, so call is a watch ni sawa. So unajua cause you're dealing with celebrities. Unajua nyinyi wanaga pale kwa lakini ma celeb. So with Octo tulikuwa surprised cause this guy was actually reposting, posting, retweeting, and he did that for like a whole week. And in that 1 week we moved from 1300 to 10,000. Na cheki. Everyone else who's come after that come post mara mob ni mara mbili. Like no one has ever done that Octo shit. But it's surprising, like what the fuck, you didn't need to do this. So that kidu Octo mimi kwa expect hii inaenda kupata around 5,000 views, najua like hey Octo was like our number 1 show till tupate Kalala yake miguu kwa hewa. Nyimko na hivi kila mtu akawatch. So our most viewed show ni Kalala akiwa na miguu kwa hewa. Alafu second most Winnie Odinga, third the guy who made Iko Nini, and that's Octopizzo. Na cheki cuz like even early this week siwezi taja ni nani, but early this week tume deal na msee akafanya nika appreciate Octo. Cuz another thing ile watu wajui, a lot of these celebrities are actually super humble, like you'll just talk directly to them. So mimi nikiongea na Calligraph I talk to Calligraph, nikiongea na King Kaka I talk to King Kaka, nikiongea na Octo I talk to Octo. But now there was this artist who was telling us talk to my manager. So I remember sintaje, but I remember Ian alikam. Out of respect for the guy, because I respect the guy.
Because he's going through a lot, and sometimes you understand the answers they give.
Yeah. So Ian ashakama analizati. Atumse skiza. See artist relevant for each time, ni artist wa time ingine. So that's why it was more surprising. So Ian niko like, hey, Omse iko na manager. Niko like, baka nuza Omse manage nini? So this was Friday. So we organized a show. Mimi na Zak tunangoja hapo, nakumbuka? Tunangoja mpaka niambia Zak, acha tukunywe kahawa tukingoja. Tulingoja aje. Akatuambia tuende Kajitombe. Alafu they came up with this wild ideas. Someone was coming from an interview at Citizen, akafaint kwa barabara, akapelekwa hosi akiwa unconscious. That was on Friday, si ndio? Then now to push for Tuesday out of respect for the person, because the person had reached out. This is the interesting thing. Umsali reach out, alikuwa like nataka kukam Iko Nini, whatever, and then I saw it like 4 days later. So maybe kwake alichukua disrespect, maybe that's where it started. So everything works out, tukalock Tuesday kulock. Now no one is speaking the phone. Hapo najua tusha set up. Hapo time ndo nakaa chini sasa, nimedeal na Calligraph, nimedeal na all these celebrities, and this motherfucker. Unajua like ilikuwa, that was such an interesting nini. Alafu kitu linibamba ni the manager telling me like, usijali nitakugetia watu wengine. Niko like, fuck you. Unajua like sitaki watu wengine ndio mlinitafuta. Alafu kuna kuagana hizo like people who look for you just to disrespect you. So there are those elements that happen.
Msema amefanya hivyo, mbona usitambie tu ni nani?
Kazi wacha tu
sisi ni watu wa Yesu. Tulianza na prayer. Hamkuona hii podcast for the first time ilianza na word of prayer.
Tulianza.
We are good people.
Kitu mnafanya ni hypocritical. Tumwashu push wase to the sport kusema details zenye hata wao.
Skiza. You see, this is literally us in quotes bad mouthing someone, si ndio?
No, so since you're stating facts.
Zizi ilikuwa,
let's just leave it at that.
Wacha tuiache hapo. Ni vile nimesema
kuna vitu zingine
you to affect nature.
Yeah.
But maybe
I like that.
when he actually
wacha tusikie vile
because bado
it might happen in the future. But saizi ile itabidi msea show up, alafu katuko sawa
umekuja sawa tusaidie kufanya setup because this time tabiweka hiyo taa hapo
kuzali tuestia time
alitupotezea time
kile watu wajuagi jua show ni vile si matime unapataga kama hii time tuko tunajua December Zaka anafaa kutravel. So tukadecide we are shooting a lot of shit. So since tuna shoot a lot of shit, even time ya kulala hakuna cause sisi najua sini watu wa kulala late kabisa cause najua hata nikiamka saa 6 niko sawa I can deal with this. But now if you're going to do an interview waga tuko na schedule sujuaga tunaanza ku set up by this time so inakuwa gawezi la late yani hata kuna la late lazima uamke mapema so kuna hizi so for someone to take you through that shit and then they're talking about managers and you're like what the fuck does that motherfucker manage unajua like there's nothing to manage here unacheki that's why nasema siwezi taja mtego unajua nikishasema there's nothing to manage alafu hakuwezi kosa kamtuka ghafla Mwafrika said alafu the next thing kuna distract unajua tayari iko nini tushatolewa distract I don't need another distract yeah that's the reason why but to go through your shit
eventually when he shows up you can just tell him like your manager told us this
yeah akikuja kila mtu yuko hapa atajua ni nani kwa sababu lazima atamuuliza je ambia like hey manager wako alikuambia cause hiyo ni kitu moja nimesema like akina nani it's so interesting when you look at some of these celebrities and you expect them to be full of shit and they are actually very accessible people. They might not at afterwards maybe hata kurepost hata do nini but ile respect au kupatia ni kali sana. Kuna wase mupiga buda jo unajua podcast najua iko lele alafu mnasikizana date and they show up kama wana cancel wanakuambia na cancel juu 1 2 3 lakini at this point tutafanya hivi
kuzima so simu
so kuna those are the big ones wale ushaona kina Kali Octo what alafu kuna these other small motherfuckers that they never showed up even ni disrespectful yani what the fuck and mostly unapata gani mtu ule like they are angry cause maybe they stuck with music alafu wao umetoka nje kidogo so na feel nikana kuduia favor ni kwa kuna hiyo mentality ya kitambo so kuna hiyo
I have another question. Okay, constantly kutoka Rapture to show by the way, which has been a very good thing. Almost kila episode new joke to your mental health. We get it like it's genuinely a joke, but like I guess I speak for a lot of people hapa nikisema wase tulianza kuwatch podcast from since way back then. Imefika mahali tunafindika tuko part ya community for making sense. So speaking of mental health, when Ian you had some stuff you went through this year like tungependa kupata hiyo genuine perspective now that tuko na nyinyi hapa hivi mtuambie how you guys are holding up or something like that.
Kitu interesting ni umechikia watu wawili wamoingiza au ni watu bro my brother who passed away nacheki so like even today niko na cheka cause they were late alafu mimi mtu akiwa late mu tumiaga jina bastard so this little bastard so nilikuwa nasema like fuck this little bastard hajafika alafu najata ndio na notice your irony cause like the big kid ni my big bro's firstborn son then the other one yuko form saizi anaenda form 3 nacheki so bigi nikimwangalia hivi naona bro so it's not an easy thing unaona like you know this person was alive they were not sick and then they died. You know, there's that fucked up thing where it actually makes you notice how fragile life is, but it's also a beautiful thing to see like this person left and they left like a photocopy of themselves. Like if you made the firstborn son the same age mtu apatana naye kwa street na juu brotherly dead atafikiria amepatana naye check so kuna hiyo but I don't think it gets because it also comes with a certain level of I'd say guilt. Like for example our firstborn son is really interested in film and one of the things tuko tunataka kufanya ni tuko tunataka kuopen ofisi but Nairobi kudu YouTube pia ni risky jo so kile kwa tunataka kudu na za kusini maneiba tuko tunataka tukuchukua like a certain house and there's this fucking neighbor tulikuwa 100% sure na hama like this motherfucker is gone msali rudi vizuri mpaka na mama yake so now kuna kwa ile aspect ya now natiki kwa shambia mtu ikao huyo like tuna plan ku open office then at this point we're going to involve you in one or two. So maybe anaweza chukua this is just my uncle talking shit, because everyone has that uncle who talks shit. So kuna hiyo element ya nini, because we also want to, because the best way to help anyone is to financially empower them. Because the death has already happened. Even if I was to wake up every morning, cry about it, the death has already happened. So you isha happen. Alafu, but now it's not like suffering Olympics, but to some degree I feel like Ian's loss was a little bit worse than mine, if that makes sense. Like these kids they lost their dad, but I lost my big bro who'd lived a life. He'd lived, alikuwa amefika 46. See, has like 5 kids. Ian's bro, we spent some time together, was still a kid kabisa. So kuna hilo element ya, I don't want to compare, but neza feel ni kama yake. This one fucked me up, but even sometimes I feel guilty. Ian, pole. But sometimes I feel guilty when we just be having a random conversation. Kama leo kwa gari tunakam hivi, alafu niko zile unajua Twitch amededi. Alidedi jua nini? Suicide. Then I was like, fuck, I've taken you back to that space. So with his it's more tricky, because like even when we joked about every time tumebonga jua accident hapa, I didn't think about my brother. Understand? Yeah. But suicide is such a specific thing that, so maybe unaweza pata na perspective yako. So is for that, because we forget, we laugh, we
as you said, like mine has some weight to it. It was sudden. It was like, we joke with Mafrika and just telling me like depression doesn't have a face. And this is one guy, yani we used to talk about him, but tunasema he's the best that there is. As the ndio amepewa love, the best education. He was a Barbie kid, and then he was talented. He used to draw shit. He used to, I went through his phone, and he was trying to do podcast. Something I didn't tell you. And it's because ile time, he brought your daughter Kiki ya birthday yake.
Yeah.
And I used to call you na kuuliza, God bado yuko huko.
Yeah.
Such a silent guy. He was just an introvert, but still hakuwa na shida yote. So I was there like, nikamuuliza like, how was it? Like sana I was quite skeptical. Akienda place na niwasi ajui. Najua like you niggas can harass. I was the guest of honor. Really happy. After that akaanza kudunga hat. Alinyang'anya ile hat nilikuwa navaa Iko Nini. But ile kitu, it's not even actually like the fact that he's gone, is the people that I'm left with. Because when I was called, so my mama alinicall like, niaje Ian kuja. Because mimi nilifika, nakumbuka ilikuwa ni game ya Chelsea na Dynamo Zagreb, and we lost. Yeye alikuwa kijana, because yeye uchukua maziwa anapitisha half kwangu, because nilikuwa nimeget kamtoi nikane mother. So some few months they wanna help, because the wife came to shit at the time. So yeye alikuwa anapitisha mimi every time. Na sometime alikuwa nakam na nateka dump wangu. Do you know it takes guts? Unakuwa msee na kuteka dump. It means like you are very comfortable.
Yeah. Whether it's stinky or not, ujali.
Yeah. So kutoka hapo my phone ikago off. It was raining, akaishia. Na alikuwa ameniconnectia naitwaje hotspot. So vile naenda si buzz zinaenda zikireduce. And I was there like, oh shit, ameenda. The following morning, the call that I'm getting from mom, I'm there like, niaje Ian, kuja. Fast forward, I get to the house, paka nauliza, but kuna vile tone your mom can use, and this shit is something that has happened. So I try and call him a pick, because he's the nearest person. Is amuliza like, before nifike, like, is there something that I can come with? Because it was just like that. Ian kufika, come. I try and call my dad, hakuna. Kufika mtaa there are a lot of people yet fulani tulikuwa tumeweka jia kanjo. When you're having a construction these days unaweka some gate because they ask for a lot of shit. Nikapata imeng'olewa, neighbors wako hapo wananiambia nisiingie kejani. Then I got the fuck kuni kwetu. So I actually thought it was my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because mama amenicall, waja nicall. Both of them are not picking. Because I knew this is someone unimse amepass. Kuingia, then his room is broke, mlango imevunjwa. Mzaya alikuwa amekaa kwa bed, and then alikuwa amekaa next to him, amemhug for a very long time. Then nikaangalia closet, there's that loose, amemtengeza, so artistic, like he really wanted to go. So the fact that ameishia ile part nimekuwa na the hardest part for me imekuwa like kukumbuka how my dad feels, because he's the one who went na waka break mlango then wakampata hapo, and I try and imagine what they were going through at that time, na ni kitu they can never ever get past, like kuenda kumtoa, because my dad alikuwa ananiambia he still thought that he was alive, he was helping him, alikuwa anafikiria ameenda hapo then he stuck somehow. So trying to live, nikiwaona I feel the pain, I actually feel the pain, and but some of the joy yenye niko nayo, like there's something alitufunza apart from that, like nobody is okay. Unaweza kuna joke na msee hapa, and it wasn't financial, M-PESA yake was loaded. Part of the thing we go through ni kuna msee nikiwatch game aliniuliza like ni aje wewe ni yule msee bro yako alijinyonga.
The fuck.
So there are those things sometimes, na cause mnajua mkiwa siblings there is a way you can walk, cause mimi umimik mtu vizuri, like nikieka mdomo like this najua alikuwa naeka like this, nikisema kitu like this niko najua alikuwa nasema like this, because we have some traits na zile vitu ukifanya unajua like you could have done that. So it's been hard. Then the thing that fucked me, I was going through, phone yake ilikata kufunguka, na later even after the death nikaweza kuweka sim card yangu then nikafungua, cause shida walikuwa nafikiria ni pattern but ni sim card. So like after a month nikaweka, and then there was a post alikuwa na do, alikuwa nasema like how he feels na nini, so nikaekea my wife, tukacheka because alikuwa anasema like what he loves doing and things he has copied from me na nini. So afterwards nika decide like let me go through some older videos, and this was August, and he recorded, and the fact that alikuwa anasema like he's planning actually to commit suicide. So they are watching, I'm like huyu ni yule msee najua. So naongea anasema like he has decided to take pills. Nikakumbuka ile time nikifika from Dynamo Zagreb aliniambia like amegonjeka anataka pills, kwa like since when alinitisha pills. So all these things zinakam zikiconnect, then akasema like it's nobody's fault, he just feels alone in this world. I feel ni kama ana relate to anything. He picked up painting, and most of the time he used to spend most of the time in his room. So actually that thing isolated him from us, because he's trying so much to please a client na kwa peke yake. And it was okay for him to himself up. Akifika nini. So akasema like it's not anybody's fault that I will actually do it at some point, but I just don't feel this world is for me. And I felt like the fact like ile kitu ni learn tuko hata saa hii by the way kuspace watoi like unapata mtoi mmoja kwa 1 year mwingine kwa 8 years. Those are not siblings, because siku hizi ukiingia shule mtoi mko na 6 months unapata house help, and then after 6 months after 2 years mtoi yako karibu kuingia shule, so ako off to the world, hana place anaweza call home. Kama mko siblings na mmekaribiana like 2 years 3 years, most of the shit that you're going through it's common kwa hiyo hao, because mimi na bro yangu mbiki used to even talk about a lot of shit.
Gap ni
gap ya bro yangu na the one who passed in 9 years. Yangu na Ouma nyame pass ni 6 years. So basically akiwa class 1 mimi nilikuwa class 8. Most of the things angefanya maybe I feel like if I tell this guy atani banish. So that is one thing I learned. Amekuwa alone all his life, and maybe vile alipata such depression na nini hangepata like say angevent out. So it just felt like the only way that I can exit from this world is kujiondoa. So it's been sometimes napata those when it comes to Tuesdays I get so down because it reminds me like Evo too, by the way. Most of the music I used to blast in Mimemfunza, I used to like it. Most of the movies me watch, so everything, it's been hard trying to readjust, like not to hate anything. Because kama alikuwa napenda hii music, you must continue loving it. Kama alikuwa napenda this movie, you must continue loving it. So it's a healing process, but it takes time.
Yeah. So poleni tumemaliza na some depression shit. I think tunafaa kuikati hapo. So
wow. Ile kitu imeni surprise about this podcast ni immediately after like it happened, you guys really came through. And kitu imeni surprise me, we spend so much time on Fridays when you spend like 3 hours every week, week in week out, you feel some type of connection, like Natala anaweza sema Ronaldo kwaje, and then say like Mobek, there's some guy from Rongai, from where. So we look out for each other. Na hiyo kitu ina feel like ina making it like an Iko Nini house. It's been super surprising. Super surprising. Another thing, like I didn't think like most of the guys would actually get my humor. Because I say some shit tukiwa na nyinyi. Sometimes it takes time. Like
kuregister.
Kuna hata zile bado munipita nikiwa na ile nasikiaga baadaye niko yo shit ile nipita. So kuna hiyo but lazima tuseme hiyo like thank you kwa Iko Nini for that, cause Iko Nini ilisaidia. Of course the loss had already happened, so but asanteni sana, na pia asanteni kwa kuja leo sasa. So vile tumesema, so leo tumewakilisha, unajua tunaweza chocha tuseme kulikuwa na South Africa US kila nani hakuna mtu wa UG tunaweza ringana TZ hivi. So tuliambiwa tuishie place inaitwa Kajito ambaye at 8, so tunataka toanishe vitu, but kwa watu wanaweza hang out kwa hiyo restaurant na hatujui base kwa aje. But kuna restaurant hapo, tunataka kutupigisha story tukitoanisha vitu, bado tunaweza ongea. But sasa tuna need kutoanisha vitu. Sawa? Asanteni sana. Tuna hope kufanya this more free. Kwa tujue kama was it worth it? Asanteni sana, yani tunashukuru koze. Nakumbuka tukiwa na Zak tukingoja 1000 subscribers. So hii imekuwa poa sana. Tuko sure ingekuwa like on a Saturday ingekuwa better than leo, but ni vile Zak alikuwa na travel, so the next time tutatry kuifanya maybe on a Saturday or time also is a move easily, but nafikiria tuta maintain hapa for some time before tuende CBD. Kwa CBD sasa inamaanishaga sasa there is some bass in your voice. So tukiwa na bass ndio tutaenda nini, but asanteni. Iko nene.